Hello everybody and welcome to Case Files Behind Closed Doors. Now this is a detective game with a little bit of a difference in that it involves real people. Now I did a couple of these types of games probably a year or so ago on the channel. This one's slightly different in that there's an in-game aspect to it as well, as you'll see in a second. So we're in the virtual world, but we have real people on our screens to interact with, but we have the case files and everything. We can do more of the interactions rather than just watch video clips. But we're going to get right into it. So we're going to be, in a minute, that's going to start with our person we're working with, and he's going to tell us the story, and we'll go from there.
All right, we are live and the video is recording. Now, we have got ourselves a pretty wild case on our hands. But first things first, let's do a quick refresher before we dive in. As always, the interviews will be streamed live via the monitor that you're looking at right now. Once the interviews end, you'll be able to access all of the previous recordings on the playback monitor that's to your left. Now keep in mind that you will be getting two different camera angles in your feed, camera A and camera B. Feel free to switch between the two as you see fit. And last but not least, don't overlook the evidence available to you in the case files. I'm sure that you'll need to reference those at some point. Okay, so the case. We've got Daniel Murphy, age 49, works as a financial planner. He was shot and killed in his home with a .38 caliber handgun that's registered to him. Now, according to the medical examiner, he died on September 12th. The exact time of death is not able to be determined because the body wasn't found until a few days after. Now, there are a few people of interest in this case. First up is Emma Richardson. She's Daniel's girlfriend who had also been living with him. Prior to Daniel's death, she had reported an incident of physical abuse that resulted in her right elbow being dislocated. The injury is verified. However, Daniel did deny all allegations regarding the abuse. Now, at first I was ready to remove her as a potential suspect due to the elbow injury, which would obviously make it pretty damn hard for her to fire a weapon. But as it turns out, she is actually left-handed, which means that she absolutely could have pulled that trigger. Now, next up is her ex-husband, Charles Humphreys. There's nothing really notable regarding Charles's past, but he was seen entering Daniel's house the day of the murder. So, needless to say, he is definitely a person of interest. Now, I was also able to bring Charles and Emma's daughter, Rebecca, down to the station today. Now, there's nothing that really points to her being a suspect at this point in time, but she did live with her mom and Daniel, and she was aware of the abuse that her mom had reported. Now, last on our list is Daniel and Emma's neighbor, Janice Burks. Janice served 9 years in prison for killing her husband, who had a very long history of domestic violence. Now, the main reason that I brought her down here today is that she was also seen entering Daniel's house the day of the murder. So yeah, that's two people that were seen entering Daniel's house the day that he was killed. All right, now that is the basic overview. Okay, you can dive in deeper with the case files or some of the security cam footage that we also subpoenaed. That footage is already loaded up for you on the playback monitor. All right, now let's figure out what the hell happened here. All right, I'm gonna bring Emma in here first. Let's see what she has to say. All right, we'll see you in a few.
Okay, so that's interesting. We've got a few suspects then. The neighbor sounds like quite a big possibility then. Already murdered somebody for the same sort of thing. She heard her neighbor was having domestic abuse issues. Could have. But would that be too simple? Plenty of evidence around.
All right, Emma,
Time for the
we
interview.
are recording. Today is September 19th. I am Detective Martin Ruiz, badge number 7621. And with me here today is Emma Richardson. So Emma, can you please go ahead and spell your
We don't really
first
need
and last
camera A,
name?
do we? Let's have a look at her.
EMMARICHARDSON.
Thank you. And can you please acknowledge that this statement is being video and audio recorded and that you are consenting to this recording?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And lastly, I just need you to acknowledge that we've already gone over your rights and that you are willfully making this statement.
Yes, that's also correct.
All right. Thank you, Emma. So yeah, let's just keep it simple and start with you telling me where you were the day of Daniel's death.
I was staying at a motel.
And which motel would that be?
The Best Stay Motel on the southeast part of town.
Now, is there a reason that you didn't go to work that day?
I wasn't feeling well, so I decided to take a sick day.
And you work at Rose and Davis Financial Services, right?
Yes, I'm a junior account executive.
And Daniel, he works there as well. Is that also correct?
Yes, actually, he's the one who got me the job there.
And the two of you were romantic partners. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, do you mind maybe elaborating a little bit more on this relationship that you two had?
Sure. What exactly would you like to know?
Well, I guess we can start with the police report that you had filed on September 10th. Now, based on what I read, it seemed that this relationship that you two had was not that pleasant, was it?
No, but at least not lately anyway.
Now, you claimed that he had grabbed you pretty forcefully, too. I mean, so much so that he dislocated your right elbow. Is that right?
Yeah, but I don't want you to think that was a norm or anything.
So that's not his normal behavior.
No, it wasn't. We had been together for 6 months at least, and I moved in with him about a month ago. He had never once laid a finger on me the entire time or shown any warning signs.
So then what exactly happened on that day? I mean, why did he have this sudden change in behavior?
He was jealous of a client of ours that we met for dinner.
And who was the client?
Just a prospective client. His name was Jason Anderson.
Jason Anderson. All right, and what exactly happened with Jason?
Well, Daniel had to take a call, so he stepped outside. He was out there a good amount of time, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And during that time, Jason and I started talking. I mean, he talked a lot and he was pretty funny. So we talked and had a laugh. That was all. Then when Daniel returned, I think he had the wrong impression. I mean, on the ride home, he kept questioning me about what we were talking about. He wanted to know why we were so happy, and he wanted to know if I found Jason attractive. He even accused me of flirting with some guys in the office from before. Honestly, I have no idea what he was talking about.
So has Daniel showed signs of jealousy like this in the past?
No, but I mean, there was never a situation like this before anyway.
You can continue.
Well, when we got home, he didn't seem to calm down at all. We were in the kitchen at the time, and he accused me of lying, and he said he didn't believe anything I had told him. I tried to de-escalate the situation by leaving, but then he blocked me with his body and backed me into a corner. And he grabbed me by the shoulders and forced me to tell him the truth. But what was I supposed to say? I already told him the truth. So then I pushed him off of me. And that's when he yanked me really hard by the arm and threw me to the floor. Oh my God, it hurt like hell. And then when I was on the ground, he kept yelling and screaming at me over and over. I mean, I can't even remember what he was saying.
Was he drinking that night?
No, the man hardly ever drank at all. I mean, I can't even remember the last time he had a drink.
Now, according to the police report, your daughter, Rebecca, she was there when this had all happened. Is that right?
Yes, she was upstairs in her room at the time, and she heard the arguing, so she came down to the kitchen to see what had happened. I mean, she asked me what happened, and I told her we had been in an argument. Then she asked me what I was doing on the floor, and I told her I had accidentally fallen.
So why did you lie to her?
I don't know. I was scared. I mean, it all happened so quickly. I couldn't even think straight.
And what happened after that?
Well, Daniel could see that I was really hurt, so he picked me up off the ground and took me to the hospital. On the ride there, he kept telling me how sorry he was, and he just kept apologizing over and over. He said he didn't know what got into him.
And you believed him?
Yes, I did.
Really?
It was a one-time thing. It was completely out of character. I didn't know what got into him. So yes, I did believe him.
All right, and what happened after that?
Well, he took me to the hospital and we checked in, and that's when I learned that my elbow was dislocated. Then Daniel left and Rebecca came to stay with me overnight. And then the next morning I had time to clear my mind and I told Rebecca exactly what happened.
So you told her that he had actually hurt you?
Yeah, she wanted me to press charges with the police, but honestly, I was hesitant. I didn't want it to turn into a big thing.
But this was a big thing, was it not?
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, it was a big enough deal that you felt the need to file a police report, right?
But that was Rebecca's idea. So, but yes, I was released from the hospital. We stopped and got some pain medication for my arm. And then we went to the police and filed a report. Then we went to the motel, I checked in, and Rebecca left to stay with her dad.
And her dad, that's Charles, right?
Yes, Charles.
So was Charles aware of the assault that had happened?
Yes, I told him that night.
Was anyone else besides Charles and your daughter Rebecca aware of the assault?
And the only other person was my neighbor, Janice. She must have heard the screaming because she texted to see if everything was okay. I wrote her back that same night and told her exactly what happened.
Now, are you and your neighbor really close? Because, and this could just be a me thing, but that seems kind of a strange thing to tell a neighbor.
Sure, somewhat, I guess. I mean, we look out for each other, as neighbors are supposed to.
Now, I'm wondering, do you think that maybe one of those three would have a reason to kill Daniel? I mean, considering they now know how abusive he can be, I mean, maybe that was enough to push them over, the limit to maybe take matters into their own hands?
Absolutely not.
But what about you? Was that enough of a reason for you to kill Daniel? Maybe make sure that he never lays a finger on you again?
Absolutely not, no. Like I said, it was a one-time thing. It wasn't that severe.
Wasn't that severe? Emma, I'm staring at you and you have a dislocated elbow. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that is pretty damn severe.
Look, the guy got jealous, okay? I mean, he'd been under a lot of pressure at work and he was in a shitty mood. He made a really poor decision that he immediately regretted. Is it okay that he hurt my arm? Of course not. But we can't change the past. And I do believe he was truly sorry.
Okay. Fair enough. So Emma, is there anything else that you feel that I should know about this whole situation?
None that I can think of.
All right. We're going to take a little break. Just ask that you just hang here for a bit, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So she looked like she was withholding some information at the end there, for sure. At certain times in that interview, she was a bit shifty looking. Sometimes, though, she was looking him dead in the eye, so I think she was telling the truth for the most part. I think there's a couple of things. Ooh, we've got a phone call.
All right, you saw the interview. You think she's being completely honest?
No, I do not.
I really can't say for sure. What I want to know from you is if you think she's telling the truth about how severe the abuse was. And I'm talking both physical and verbal. That's a major piece of this whole thing. Whether she's being honest or not will give us a decent idea on how to move forward with this investigation. So let's make sure we really judge this correctly. The right approach should get her to open up a bit more. I'll trust your judgment with that. You tell me, and that's how I'll proceed with her. No rush. Look over whatever you need to and call me back. All right, talk soon.
Ooh. Is Emma telling the truth about how severe the abuse was? Ooh. And it wants a yes or no answer. Well, to be honest with you, I'm leaning towards that she's not telling us the full truth. But there's things I'd like to go over, potentially, just to make sure. That's Rebecca's text records. Here we go. Emma Richardson text records. Is there anything on this page that would help? So if you look at... so I can't show you because I've not got anything to click on here. But if you look at the I'm really sorry about in the middle somewhere. So he's apologizing there. Did you get my text from earlier? Are you still at the hospital? So he's being... He seems like he's being pretty genuine. Like, it's not that he just doesn't care. Equally, why did he leave, though? Oh, we can zoom in. Nice. So why would he leave the hospital, though? Like, if it was an accident, why would you leave your girlfriend alone at the hospital, or just with her daughter at the hospital? You would stay there with her. That seems odd to me that you would leave. Why would you leave? Now, what does Janice have to say? I heard some pretty bad arguing and banging sounds coming from your house. Is everything okay? Sorry for getting back to you so late. We had an argument and he threw me to the ground. Hurt me pretty bad. What? Oh my God. I'll come to the hospital. No, it's okay. Okay, please let me know if there's anything I can do. How are you doing? Your Amazon order has been successfully placed. Interesting. That might come into it later then. Okay. Daniel. Everything prepped for tonight's dinner meeting. This Anderson account will be huge for us. Okay, everything seems normal. The ones to Harry there, he seems very work-related. He's not passing on any information. And then obviously he gets murdered towards the end of that there. So nothing there sort of points to any kind of long-term abuse. Now, when she was saying, can we watch it again, but can we fast forward it?
All right, Emma, we are recording.
There.
And the two of you were
Somewhere around here,
forcefully
wasn't it?
too. I mean, so much so that he dislocated your right elbow.
Let's
Is
keep
that
watching
right?
her.
But I don't want you to think that was a norm or anything.
So that's
See,
not
right
his
there.
normal behavior.
Right there, she was looking him in the eye, and then there was a quick look to the left to avoid eye contact.
No, it wasn't. We had been together for
But-
6 months at least, and I moved in with him about a month ago. He had never once laid a finger on me the entire time or shown any warning signs.
So then what exactly happened on that day? I mean, why did he have this sudden change in behavior?
It's odd. She looks him dead in the eye for a lot of it, and then occasionally just looks off to the side like she's not completely telling the truth. But
he was
is that
jealous
enough to
of
go on?
a client of ours that we met for dinner.
And who was the client?
Just a prospective client.
Carry on.
He wanted to know why we were so happy, and
Okay. So this is their conversation in the car on the way home.
I mean, on the ride home, he kept questioning me about what we were talking about. He wanted to know why we were so happy, and he wanted to know if I found Jason attractive.
See, I don't know that much about body language. But the bit I do know, so she was like looking up in disbelief as to why he would be asking her these questions. Looking to the left, she seems to just be recollecting. It seems to be something she's doing with that.
Accused me of flirting with some guys in the office.
Like
from
she
before.
can't believe what she's hearing.
Honestly,
here.
I have no idea what he was talking about.
So as
There,
Daniel
look at
showed
that.
signs
Then she
of,
looks down as if to go, "Ooh, actually, there have been the odd flirtations here and there. I don't know what he's talking about, but then it's sort of, I'm not 100%.
jealousy like this in the past?
No.
And why would you do that if it's a no? If it was a straight no, like, yeah, he's never done anything like this before in the past. If it's a straight no, why would you have to recollect that? For something so serious. This isn't like, oh, has he ever bought this brand of mayonnaise before? And she has to recollect. This is a real serious, has he ever done anything like this before? Why would you recollect that if the answer is no? It would just be a, no, of course he hasn't. So I'm going to
I
go,
mean, there was never a situation like this before. Anyway.
I don't believe you.
You can continue.
There's something there.
Well, when we got home, he didn't seem to calm down at all.
Okay, I'm going to call it there. I don't believe that that is all there is to it. So is Emma telling the truth about how severe the abuse was? I don't think so. So I'm going to go with no.
Hey. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. It definitely feels like she's downplaying the abuse. The question is why. I'll push her on that. Let's see if we can squeeze more out of her.
Let's do it,
All
Martin.
right, give me a second. We'll get things back up and running.
Let's do it. Let's see what she's got to say.
This is a continuation with Emma Richardson. Now, Emma, I gotta say, I don't think that you were telling me the whole truth. I don't.
About what?
Well, about your relationship with Daniel, but more importantly, about the abuse you experienced, Emma. I mean, look, you have a dislocated elbow. The guy put you in the hospital, and for what? Because he was jealous? Come on, Emma. You know that is not normal behavior. It's not. All right, that is pretty damn severe. Now, what I'm trying to wrap my head around is, why are you covering for this guy? Why are you downplaying everything that happened to you? Look, Emma, it is okay. Right? It is okay to talk to me. It is okay to tell me the truth. In fact, that is the easiest thing to do right now. So please, Emma, just tell me the truth.
Okay. It was severe, okay? It was very severe. You know, I thought I knew him. I was falling for him. I thought he was perfect. But looking back, I can see that the signs were there all along. I was just blinded by wanting to move on and find a new partner. But, you know, when he showed his true colors, not only did he hurt me, but he threatened to kill me and my daughter at gunpoint. Okay? At goddamn gunpoint.
Wait, I'm sorry. When did that happen?
The day after I got out of the hospital, I think it was a Monday.
Okay, can you tell me exactly what happened?
I stopped by the house that afternoon to pick up some of my stuff. I knew he'd be at work, so it was a good time to go. I was there maybe 5 minutes, and that's when he showed up. I was in the middle of packing, and he could clearly see that I was leaving. This must have really pissed him off, because he immediately went to the bedroom closet and grabbed a gun. I was in shock. I didn't even know he had a gun. And then he threw me on the ground and pressed the gun really hard against my forehead. He kept yelling that the police were questioning him at work. Apparently, after I filed the reports, some cops were questioning people. They even questioned some of my neighbors, including Janice. Apparently, the higher-ups at work were really alarmed by all this because they put him on immediate leave until this all got sorted out. That's why he got home early that day. This must have been really embarrassing for him because he was really angry. He kept yelling that Rebecca and I needed to recant our story and to tell the cops that he never hurt me. I mean, he kept saying that he was acting in self-defense and that I pushed him. He was literally trying to make it seem like it was my fault. And then he made it a point to tell me that he was in control of my life, my job, my home, everything. And that he could take that away anytime he wanted. So then he told me that if we didn't tell the police his version of what happened, that he wouldn't think twice about putting a bullet in each of our heads.
Wow. Wow. So, Emma, why did you lie to me?
Because I thought you would see this as a clear motive for killing him, that's why.
And I get that. I get that. But, okay, but why in the situation that happened, why not in that moment? Why didn't you immediately go to the police? I mean, heck, you could have even filed a restraining order against him, Emma.
Because they didn't do shit the first time, that's why. I had already told them that he had physically assaulted me. I was literally in the hospital because of him. But did they protect me? Huh? Did they? I can answer that. Who are you, detective? No, they didn't protect me. In fact, that son of a bitch threatened to kill me even after I went to them. So no, I didn't think it mattered. So don't get me started about a restraining order. You think a restraining order, some just like little piece of paper, would stop someone like him? Someone who had threatened to kill me? Give me a break.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So tell me what happened after he had threatened you.
He left. And I immediately gathered all my stuff and I left too.
Now there's a flaw here though, right? I mean, there should be security cam footage of Daniel coming in the house and leaving the house, right? During that time. I mean, we have footage of you, and we got footage of you and Janice, but we literally have absolutely no footage of Daniel during that time at all.
That's because he came in through the back. He didn't use the front door. It was like he was trying to catch me off guard or something.
And I'm going to assume that because you guys don't have a security camera in the back, then that means there's no record whatsoever of him coming in or out of the house. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Now, I'm also wondering, do you know why there would be no security cam footage from September 9th? I mean, the entire day, there's no footage. Now, that's the day that he assaulted you for the first time. Do you know why there would be no footage on that day?
I don't know. Maybe he deleted it.
That is certainly a possibility, yeah. All right. Well, look, Emma, assuming that everything you told me is the truth, right? I want you to know that everything, and I mean everything that has happened to you, none of that is your fault.
I know.
Good. And there is help if you need it, Emma, all right? There's shelters that I can connect you with if you don't want to stay at that motel. There are people that you can talk to. All right, we've got a lot of resources, Emma. All right, you do not have to go this alone.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Emma, let's give you a break, okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Phone call? There he is.
Well, that was a lot.
Certainly was.
If she's telling the truth, Daniel's got some pretty serious issues. It is weird that he would go through the back, though. I mean, it's possible, but considering how in the moment he probably was, it does strike me as odd. I don't know. There's a lot to process here. All right, we got to keep these interviews going. Let's see what more we can uncover here. I got her ex-husband, Charles, up next. Let's see what this guy's got to say. Hang tight. Bye.
So yeah, that was pretty heavy stuff there at the end. If she is telling the truth, then let's face it, Daniel was a scumbag and probably got what was coming to him. But we don't know that for sure yet. We've got to stay impartial and work out our case. And what Martin was saying at the end there about the weirdness with the camera and not having a camera through to the back, and he only came through the back. Why would he come through the back and not the front? Kind of, what? So there's something there, because she also looked a little bit shifty when they were talking about the camera footage as well. Like she'd not really thought about that or something. There was something there. So I think we'll need to keep digging on the camera side of things. So this was the demo version of the game. So what I'm going to do is, before I go ahead and make any more videos on this, I'm going to see what the reaction to this video is, see how you like it, because I've put some of these types of videos out before, and sometimes they do okay, sometimes you guys aren't really into them, which is fine. But if you are into this one, let me know, and let me know that you'd want to see more of it, and if so, then I will purchase the full game and we will solve this case. But until then, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you for another video very soon.